Hey guys, welcome to another garden tour. It's Sunday, July the 16th. We've had another week of exceptionally good weather. So the plants have put on a lot of new growth and there is quite a bit of fruit set. So let's go take a quick look. So in the first bed, this is the beets that I transplanted from another bed where I basically broadcast spread them. I didn't want to waste the plants by thinning them out, so I dug them out and transplanted them to this bed. They looked like they weren't going to make it for the longest time, and then all of a sudden they have sprung back to life and again have really put on a lot of new growth because of this exceptionally good weather we've had. Been taking a lot of lettuce. Got to plant a lot more of that next year. We just can't seem to keep up. Pepper plants putting on lots of peppers. So that'll be good. I'm gonna wait till they change to red. And then the leftover spaghetti squash and butternut squash are starting to vine out. These ones are in the pot a little bit longer, so they're a little bit behind the other two squash, or the other bunch of squash plants that we have. Now, since pruning back the tomatoes, even though it did look like quite an aggressive pruning that I did, they have all bounced back and have put on a lot of new growth, and we have quite a bit of fruit set. Lots of big tomatoes coming, lots of flowers, so should be a really good year for tomatoes. Nothing terribly exciting happening with the Brussels sprouts. They're just getting really tall, putting out lots of new leaves. Again, we don't expect anything to happen until probably about September, when they start growing some sprouts at the leaf nodes. Broccoli, same thing. We do have the largest broccoli that I have right now is right there. It's about the size of your fist. This variety grows really big heads of broccoli, so I'll leave him on the plant for a while. And then in all the other plants, it's difficult to see through the netting, but small broccoli's starting to come up. In the last week, the pea bed has just exploded. Flowers everywhere. On this side are the garden peas, the jumbos. They take the longest, so they'll be the last to harvest. On the end, those are the Oregon Giants. Those are the edible pod peas. And you can see some of them just starting to form, but lots of flowers there. And these two beds in front are sugar snap peas. And again, lots of them well on their way. Probably be harvesting these. Oh, within the next week we'll pull out the first set of snap peas. I weeded the onion bed a couple days ago. It took quite a while, and the onions have really started to put on quite a bit of growth. Again, should be a pretty good crop of onions. I find when you grow them from seed, none of them will end up bolting. We have had some really hot weather, and none of them have shown any signs of putting up a flower stem. So again, should be a pretty good crop of onions this year. Further down this bed, I transplanted another bunch of beets, so hopefully they pull through. Again, they look similar to the other ones, and they were okay after a while, so should be a good beet harvest. And then kale, Swiss chard, we've been taking that steady for the past 2 weeks, and our cauliflower is coming right along. And in this last bed, we have some cabbage at the end, peppers. Haven't started producing yet, but put on a lot of new growth. And then the strawberries, lots of flowers and quite a bit of fruit already set. One strawberry should be ready in a couple days, so kids will get a kick out of that. But plants are doing very well. And in the final big bed, the spaghetti squash have really put on a lot of new growth. These plants look different every time you come out in the morning and take a look at them. What we tend to do is train the vines out onto our lawn. Doesn't really bother us that the vines are all over our grass. But that way the bed stays kind of manageable. These plants just get enormous and will take over and crowd out into everything else that's in this bed. Cucumbers starting to vine out. Pickling cucumbers on this side, regular slicing cucumbers on that side. I've set up our cucumber trellis, but so far nothing is big enough to be trellised up, but hopefully we'll get there. Our butternut plants are starting to vine out. Again, we'll train them out the side of the bed. Again, another plant that just gets way too big for confined spaces. I didn't think all 6 plants would survive. Normally what happens is either they don't survive at least one of them doesn't survive the transplant, or bugs get to it and it dies off. But this year we have all 6 squash plants that have survived, so we will be struggling to find room for everything, but should be a good harvest. The melon plants just starting to vine out, pretty late in the season, but we'll see if we get anything. Again, spare 2 tomato plants have flowers, be setting fruit shortly, and the zucchini are just starting to put on the new growth. They're really slow this year. Last year at this time we had already been harvesting zucchinis for a couple weeks, so everything is delayed by at least 2 weeks this year. But the plants have a tendency of catching up, so not too worried. And the blueberry plants still looking really good, putting on a lot of new growth, and blueberries should be ready for harvest shortly. Alright, that's it for this week. Just a quick update. Again, not too much going on. The plants just growing and doing their thing. We did manage to get the topsoil spread and the grass seed put down, so hopefully this side of the bed will be turning green within the next 2 weeks. And for that final bed on the end, I have decided to put blueberry plants in there as well. I was going to do grapes, but I'm running out of time to trellis and to prune them. So blueberry plants seem to grow well in the mix that I have. So we will be putting those plants in. Hopefully by next week we'll be able to get those in the ground, and then in a year or two get a nice crop of blueberries. All right, that's it for this week. See you next time.